Hello there, good people. Once again, I'm trying to become a lot more consistent with these videos. It's just so hard to take time out to record them after you to record something that you don't like and go on to the next stage and all. So, with that said, I do want to back up a little bit. So, first of all, I want you all to recognize and realize how appreciative I am to have had the woman that I've been blessed to have in my life. They all have been awesome mothers and awesome friends, awesome just great encouragers of women. I've been blessed to have every one of them in my life. So I just wanted to touch that and let y'all know how grateful I am to have been blessed with the woman that God has blessed me with. Because Lord knows I've heard stories, horror stories that some people go to, and I've been fortunate enough to never had to experience any of that. So now that I touched into that, I want to get into my 2021 post Maria, getting back to the yellow cab thing. It was uh 2021 was probably my most trying year that I can remember since I was a very young kid. And it was trying in a lot of different areas. First off, I let me just start with 2021. I had met a woman on a dating site, and I had started talking to this woman, and she was from Miami. She was in the medical field, like she was a trauma room emergency nurse. She could have been a director of anything for any emergency department, but she was very good at her stuff. So I had started talking to her, and immediately after we started talking, I realized when she would drink, she would get belligerent, get nasty, rude, and everything. And it, I knew automatically it was something that I couldn't really partake in, but something just kept always drawing me to this woman. And now I've gotten through this. I've sort of figured out what it was. It was the woman was going through a lot, and it was on my spirit. God, and this is once again, I'm a firm believer in God doesn't put anyone in our path by accident. So I believe this woman was put in my path for a reason. She was struggling. She was going through something. She had just survived near death with COVID, and many accolades, many accomplishments this woman's been able to accomplish. And so I I think initially when we first started talking, I think I was more enamored by her than anything. I think I was more impressed with all the accolades and everything she had seen, everything she had survived. Because it was like a story that I can identify. Because it was a story that like sort of like what I've lived, but hers was just like some almost next level, different, more in depth, more in tune. From a woman point of view, she went through so much. So, what the first thing I would notice is when she drank, she would become disrespectful, and some of the things out her mouth was just like something that I wasn't accustomed to. I wasn't accustomed to someone cursing me, calling me out my name, calling me just talking to me like she was. And even in my relationships that I went through with there was abuse, there was still a level of respect. Of course, when you get heated arguments, them levels sort of get tapped on a little bit, but for the most part, there was still always levels of respect. So that's the first thing I noticed about this woman. So I started falling back, and as I fell back from her, I it still would be on my spirit to be there for her. So I would go check on her because she would be in these very drunk stupors that where she couldn't even stand or walk or just a lot of things. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us done had family members that done battled with alcohol addiction, alcohol abuse, or should I say? And so, so I would go check on her and make sure she was fine. Because it was like I said, it was on my spirit that she didn't have no other family here from in Virginia, and so and I know that why I continued to do what I did for her. God put it on my spirit. God kept it on my spirit, And so as much as I would want to write this woman off and not deal with her, God will put it on my spirit to deal with her again, or go check on her, or see how she was. And I told her, like I've told her recently, is you cannot question the people God puts in your life. You just have to be mindful of it, pay attention of it, and realize that some people is in your life for a season, and some people in your life for a reason, And sometimes sometimes a lot of us let people overstay their welcome in our lives. But anyway, going back to the story, so she she was very business minded. Oh my God, she was the very business minded, and so she was. I had already started to fall back from her, and she was telling me about opportunity and that she wanted me involved in. And I had a I hadn't slept with the woman in a long time. Like when we first started talking, we had a sexual relationship, but once all of the resistance came, I knew I had to shut that down. And so she came to me with a business proposition, and offered to take me down to Miami with her. And at the same time, I had never been to Miami. She was going to take me and show me everything, and so I conceded and decided to tag along, share the hotel room and all. So let me go back a little bit. We flew out of Richmond, Virginia. So I drove to her house, left my taxi cab at her house. I left the keys to my taxi cab in her house, and no, I took the keys to my taxi cab with me to Miami. I left the keys to my Lexus in her house and my work tablet in her house. So when we came back, I know I had to get that from her before I can do anything. And so I so we take off. We fly to Miami, and I rented a so she had everything else she had arranged. I had arranged a rental car in my name. So when we reached Miami, I was gonna rent a car, and the rental car was going in my name. So the so we get there. Everything is just cool, fun. I'm enjoying myself. I'm seeing Miami. She's very astute to everything in the area. She's pointing out things from Delray Beach to Hollywood to Miami to Fort Lauderdale. She's showing me everything. Eating some of the best restaurants, and I'm having a ball. I'm really having a ball. And so she had friends, of course she's from down, so she had friends down there. So we went to visit one of her friends when we was there, and they played this card game that you lose, you drink. So I think I was a spectator at first, and so then I decided to play. And so she would hang out, drink, and walk, socialize with all her friends, and I was playing. So she went to the bathroom. Now, before I go any further, I'm gonna tell you, there's things that I've done in this situation that I know if I had a chance, I would definitely undo it and change different things that I did, make it differently. But it is what it is. One thing about I say all the time is you can't cry over spilled milk. But if I could have took this situation a lot, could have had the situation go a lot differently. But she went to the bathroom, and one of her friends said to me some comment about your girl. I corrected him because I was one to be very clear on my position when I was there. One to be, and as I was clear with her, you know, we are not dating. You know, I'm doing this business thing with you, but it's totally business. I don't want anything sexual, and I made that clear to to the degree that I made it clear. Simple as that. And and so she went to the bathroom. One of her friends said, your girl, and I immediately said, that's not my girl. And she came back from the bathroom and she overheard it, so she was pissed. Called me out in front of everybody, and I understood that. I understood why she was pissed and all that because it was not anybody's business, and I could have kept that to myself. So she was pissed, and rightfully so. We got through the day and got through the night, and we went back to the room, and it became a subject, a topic, issue as well. And so that night came and went, and we did a bunch of other stuff, and got her granddaughter when we was there. Granddaughter wanted to eat with us. We went to the beach. We did a lot of different things, and so while I'm there, while I'm there, we so one other time we was visiting her friend's house again, and they had the car again going again, and now her granddaughter's with us, and it's early. I think it's like 11, 12 in the daytime, whatever it was. It wasn't even before 1. I know it was before 1, and our friends are sitting back, playing a card game. I sit there and talk to everybody, and the friends have a big old bottle of tequila on the table. And so she puts a glass down, she pours a big ass glass of tequila. And I'm telling her, I'm like, look, it's too early in the day for that. You got your granddaughter here, you know, you ain't drinking that. And I told her, I said, you're not drinking that. So she was automatically pissed. And I think she was more pissed because I checked her in front of everybody and told her she wasn't drinking, or maybe it's because I don't know. But I can only imagine what I said that could have sparked it. But she was pissed about that. And so we leave, and we in the car with her granddaughter, and she's just bringing up topic after topic, issue of whatever cases. And me, I learned to not speak in front of kids about grown folks stuff. And so I was just trying to just downplay it and not really speak about it until we was by ourselves. But nonetheless, like I said, she kept on speaking about it, speaking on it. So that night, we go back to her room. Her daughter comes to the room, pick up her child, and mother is, she's still going back and forth and about issue after issue, and so come to find out, but she left her phone at a friend's house that night. So we know we had to get up the next day and go get her phone before we do anything. So we get up the next day, go get her phone, and we are at the friend's house, and I don't recall if she drank or not, but yes, she did. So she drank, then we ate, we went to eat somewhere, and she drank some more. And I guess you can say this is when I really felt like it was really about to get. The whole time, every time she drank, she would just get nasty, just nasty, speak to me, say some of the craziest things, and I would check her, And so this time we're coming back. We have been out. She's drinking, and and so we are going back to the hotel room, and we're driving, and we're just fussing, yelling, arguing with each other, going back and forth. And one thing about me is I'm going to be respectable as much as I can of a woman because I've done everything else, and I know how it is to not be respectful. So She sitting back talking to me and just attacking me, and I'm deflecting it. I'm trying to deflect it. I'm trying not to really feed into it. And so the whole time, you know, I'm telling her, I'm like, look, stop talking to me like that. I don't talk to you like that. Stop talking to me like that. And so I tell her, I'm like, look, it's almost like you spitting venom directly at my face while I'm talking. And this is where it went sideways. And once again, I know I could have had it go a different way. But I told her, I'm like, it's almost like you spitting in my face. And I told her, I said, as a matter of fact, you talk to me like that again, I'm going to spit in your face. And she kept on. So I spit in her face. The rest of that ride, she was silent, but I already knew automatically. When we get to our hotel room, I can't go sleep around this woman. I got to pack my stuff and get her out of there. So I knew what I had to do. So we get to the hotel, and the minute we get there, she jumps out and she goes to the front office. I don't know what she's doing. She goes to the office, and so I go up I asked her if she's coming back. She didn't answer me. She walked off. So I drive up the ramp, and I go to the floor that we're staying on. And I stand in the park in the garage for a bit, gather my thoughts, and, went for a little smoke and just, got my thoughts together, my game plan together. So I walk into the room, and she's doing something. So I head straight to my suitcase. And so I'm gathering my stuff on the suitcase, and she attacked me. So I hit me a bunch of other stuff. It wasn't really that concerned about. I'm holding it off with one hand, and I'm gathering everything I can in the suitcase. And so, as I'm gathering everything and I'm holding it off, she's military, so I'm not even sure what's going. Well, but I'm holding it off, and I wasn't worried about what was coming. This is what got me. She reaches over my arm. I'm holding her off her back. She reaches over my arm, and she bites the crook of my arm. And I can honestly tell you all, it's a blur from here, but I hit her. She got off my arm. She fell on the floor, and then she kicked me when she was on the floor. And so I kept on grabbing my stuff, and as I got most of my stuff up for the cases, I get all my stuff and I just head to the door. And so I head to the door, put all my stuff in the car. Only thing I had was a rental. She paid for all the flight tickets and everything. Only thing I had was a rental to figure out where I was going, how I was going to get there. So I pull out the hotel. I go to the left, and there's a gas station around the corner. I wasn't sure, but I was supposed to go to the right when I left. So I went to the left. And there's a gas station right there. I'm gathering my thoughts. I got a brother in Atlanta, a sister in Columbia, South Carolina. I called both of them to figure out, says I can be there. It's like 9 o'clock at night. It says I can be to my sister in Columbia 2 hours before I can be to my brother in Atlanta, or by hour or whatever different. So I chose my sister in Columbia. So I'll go up there. So I decided to go there. So I pull out of the gas station, and I pass. I'm heading to the direction I'm supposed to be going. But I passed the hotel. So as I pass the hotel, I see a police car in the lobby. So you already know it's a wrap. I'm getting up out of Dodge. I ain't going to jail in Miami if I can help it. And so I got out of Dodge. So I went and jumped on the road, went straight up to South Carolina. And I got to South Carolina that Wednesday morning. So Wednesday we were supposed to go meet with the people about the business plan. Wednesday I'm on the road. I get to Columbia. I have siblings, cousins, nieces and nephews, friends, everybody in Columbia. So I just wanted to get my head right and figure out what I was doing from there. I figured I'd get on the road that next morning, which was Thursday, and I can get back home Thursday. So I guess she go do everything she supposed to did, or well, I'm not sure what she did on Wednesday, but she flew back out on Thursday. So I don't leave Thursday till later, so I don't get to Charlottesville till Thursday night, Thursday evening. Remember, she flies back up Thursday during the day, and so she's already home in Charlottesville. So I drive home, and my mind is on everything. My mind is all over the place and figuring out what I'm doing, where I'm going, what's the possibilities, what's the scenarios, and everything. So I get to her house. No. So here's the thing. I I had to return the car rental to to Richmond because I drove to Richmond with her in her car, and so I had to return the car rental in Richmond. I had to get somebody to pick me up from the airport in Richmond, which is about an hour and a half away. So I get back to Charlottesville. My friend dropped me off, get out there, get all my stuff, luggage and everything. And so I'm standing in front of her house. I'm dreading. I have to go face the music. So I go knock on her door. No answer. I go around to the porch where I see her lights on in case I'm knocking. No answer. So I go. Like I said, I go around to the door downstairs. I'm knocking. Nothing. No answer. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna just address this during the daytime, and I got more light, and I can possibly get a better response. So I get a lift, go home, and then I get a lift to go back the next morning, and I go knock on the door, and no answer. And so I go to one of her side doors, so I start pushing the door, knock, and so then I hear police calls and a siren, and it's in the distance. So I go back upstairs, and I'm standing there, and I'm actually trying to book a lift, and police pull up, lights on, a couple police cars, and they get out of the car, start hysterical, and I asked them, I said, what are you here for? And the guy says, well, we got a call from someone trying to break into an apartment. I said, well, that must be for me. I said, but I wasn't trying to break in. I was just trying to get them to answer the door. I told the officer the issue, minus the violence that took place in Miami. So I told the officers so the officers go knock on her door, ask her told them ask them did she have anything in the house that belonged to me. She told them no, she didn't have anything. Told them I didn't have no keys there. I told them I didn't have no work tablet, no keys to my Lexus or anything. So I'm already like, up against the wind. I'm like, okay. So I had an extra set of keys in my cab. So I get in my taxi cab and I pull off. I get out the side of the police, and no sooner I turned that corner, the car kept sputtering. And so I pull over because I already knew something was wrong. And the first thing came to my mind, somebody did something to my vehicle. So I didn't drive right there. I got it towed down to my mechanic shop. Mechanic told me somebody put some cleaning fluid or something, and some cleaning fluid and some other substance in my gas tank, and told me that it was, they're going to pump my tank in oil cases, and so I asked this woman I called her. I'm like, look, why would you do that to my car? She swore up and down. I didn't do nothing to your car. I wouldn't do nothing to you. I'm like, I've been in this area for years. Nobody's never vandalized no car. Nobody's done no case. So she swear up and down she didn't do it. And I'm like, well, it don't pan out, but what are you gonna do? I didn't have any visual evidence or anything, so of course I couldn't really pursue the issue. So anyway, I'm down. I can't work. I don't have a cab. So I start figuring out what I'm gonna do. I start looking for new vehicles and all. And so now she's calling me and feeling I felt like it was more or less her conscience. So she calls me and she's like, look, hey, I can help you get a vehicle, whatever you need, okay? So she helps me start looking for a vehicle. The whole time I'm like standoffish. I'm like, look, I just want you to help me with this. Help me find the vehicle. I don't want you to help me with anything. And so, but she's adamant she's gonna help me, and so I accepted whatever help I needed to accept at that moment because I had already been what almost a whole week going back and forth trying to figure out what I'm doing. If I don't work out in my line of business, so of course I was trying to figure that out. So excuse me. So it's I actually motivated on my cab. She did kind of back and forth, and so anyway, so I finally go find a vehicle. We looking for vehicles. She's coming with me. I'm finding, you know, every time I went around this woman, I would record every interaction. I didn't trust anything with this woman. I record every interaction, every message. I was documenting. I didn't trust this woman at all, and so I I started to come make traction on a few of them. We found one and came back, and it wound up being spoken for. So we come back and we look around a few other places, and then I got a call from the one I was spoken for, and they come and like, hey, you was interested in the vehicle? I said, yeah, but I came and told me it was gone. So I learned a lot about the whole haggling stuff and how people will step on each other's necks to get a sale as well. So anyway, I go back up there and I go and I I do the transaction for the van. I love the van. It's beautiful. Toyota Sienna. The color I wanted and everything. The year I wanted and everything. And so I'm excited. And so I move forward on the whole process. So there's another part to this story. I'm at my 27-minute mark, but I'm going to leave it here. I'm definitely going to tell you, everybody, love someone today, do something for somebody, play it forward. With that said, love you all. Have a beautiful day. I'm going to follow this one up tomorrow. I can promise you I'm going to follow this one up tomorrow. Have a blessed day.